Hi guys, welcome back to 100% Mag. So I hope you're all staying safe and well out there. So in this video today, as you might have guessed by the title, this is 5 things to watch out for this season in this 23-24 campaign. Now, starting off on the list at number 5, we are going to go with, of course, this one, Newcastle making it to another cup final or semi-finals this season. There's a lot of people out there saying that Newcastle's performance last season in the Premier League and the Cups was complete and utter fluke, and that we, guided our way there on luck. I've got to say, that is absolute bullcrap. Newcastle got there through performances. We got there because we were the better team last season. And when you look at the Premier League, out of 3 teams last season, Newcastle was the third best team in the Premier League out of the teams that were there. Arsenal and Man City were the only teams that I would say were ahead of us, in performances last season. And we went toe to toe with them at times in the season as well. So, this season, I think we will see, Newcastle go through the cups quite well. Of course, we've got Champions League as well, so we'll have to see what we can do in that one, which I will talk about a little bit further into, of course, this video as well, because I've got to talk about that, and I've got to say, I think we will make it to another final, maybe this season, or we will make it to a semi-final this season. That is a thing that we need to look out for and need to watch out for, of course, this season. Moving on to number 4 on the list, and I think this one pretty much, says it for itself. Look at what he did in his first game for Newcastle United yesterday against Villarreal. Harvey Barnes, showing what he is made of in the Premier League, comes in at number 4 on 5 things to watch out for this season. Harvey Barnes has already showed his worth in the black and white at St James's Park, of course. He wasn't playing in black and white yesterday, of course, but he has already shown us, Newcastle United fans, what he is made of. Now, I already knew, before Harvey Barnes came through the door at Newcastle United, that he was a fantastic player. And I'm sure quite a few other people will have as well. If you've seen play for Leicester, then you will know what kind of player he is, what ability he's got, and what potential is there. And I think under Eddie Howe's guidance, Harvey Barnes is going to fly, and we've seen it already. He hasn't even fully set into the team yet, and he's already scoring a brace. He's not selfish neither. He was able to, at times know when he needed to pass the ball away in the game and not keep a hold of it for too long. And just fantastic, to see him already getting off on the right foot at Newcastle. Moving on to number 3 on the list. This one, again, is another one, that is just absolutely screaming out there. Look at what he did last season when he was barely able to play for Newcastle United. He barely got a chance last season. But then when he came back, because of his injury, he came back, and we've seen Alexander Isak having an absolutely sensational season, scoring goals upon goals for Newcastle, assisting goals. The assist against Everton, that was just absolutely fantastic. We've seen it in pre-season already. He's tearing teams apart, and I think Isak is going to set the Premier League alight this season, possibly getting the Golden Boot this season, if not coming very close to getting the Golden Boot. But I think a lot of people are going to definitely need to watch out for Alexander Isak this season. He's a player, that is really got a whole load of potential there. You can see it, and he is going to do absolutely amazing at us this season. And with Harvey Barnes in there as well, and then you've got Murphy to add in, Miggy to add in, you've got Joe Linton as well, Sandro Tonali. We've got a very strong squad this season, which takes us on, of course, to number 2 on the list. Newcastle proving all the doubters wrong once again by doing well in Europe. A lot of them out there, we've heard them all on all their different channels, on all their different areas. They're all against Newcastle. They're all saying that Newcastle aren't going to do well in Europe. Well, we proved them all wrong last season, when they said that we couldn't make it into the European spots and get into them Champions League spots. We proved them wrong then, and we will prove them wrong again this season by making it a good way through the Champions League. Now, I've got a good feeling that we will do well in this Champions League. If we can just get a good, group, then we've got every chance of making it out of the groups into the knockouts. And let's face it as well, when you look at the teams in the Champions League, there's not really many teams like, as a Newcastle United fan, or a football fan in general, I would fear, in the Champions League. I mean, there's only really Real Madrid, Bayern Munich, Manchester City, and Barcelona out of the teams in the Champions League that, are any real threat, I think. Now, that's not being cocky by any means. It's just an opinion that I have. And, of course, my brother feels the same as well about the opinion. But looking at it, there is only 4 teams this season in the Champions League and playing the Champions League, that I would say are a challenge to Newcastle United. Looking at the teams, that are already playing in Europe, the likes of Fiorentina, we did quite well against them, just gone in the Salah Cup there. Villarreal as well, another European team that plays in Europe quite a lot, and we did really well against them, and that wasn't even the full first team. So, when we have the full first team out, we're able to go into them games. I think we will do well, and I think we will prove all of the doubters wrong. Now, taking us on to the last and final one on the 5 things to watch out for this season, and this one is pretty obvious. The local lads making their name in the Premier League and Europe. We've seen it already in pre-season. Ellie Anderson, Lewis Miley, Alex Murphy as well, who isn't a local lad, but of course is a youngster in the squad. And we've seen them, they've come in, they've played their part in pre-season, and they've done absolutely fantastic. Elliot Anderson scoring goals, assisting goals. Lewis Miley assisting goals, getting close to scoring goals in the games. We have got a fantastic youth setup being set up here in Newcastle United. You can see it, and this is before, any of the other youth players start to come through as well in the years ahead. But we have got some fantastic stuff happening. Elliot Anderson is a standout player who I'm sure will get a lot of game time this season. Lewis Miley as well. We're seeing it on the last day of the season, when we took on Chelsea down at Stamford Bridge. Lewis Miley almost scoring on his debut against Chelsea down at Stamford Bridge. He had an absolutely fantastic game against Chelsea as well. And for a young kid to come in, on his debut and do something like that against a team like Chelsea, it's just absolutely fantastic. Elliot Anderson as well, like I say, he's been absolutely setting it alight in pre-season. He's built on some muscle. He's getting better and better as he plays. Same with the rest of the younger lads as well, and the same with the rest of the players in the Newcastle team as well. But I think the local lads, we're going to need to watch out for. The young lads, we're going to need to watch out for, because there's a lot of star quality there and a lot of potential there that under Eddie Howe's guidance could become very, very lethal, and that'll be fantastic for us Newcastle fans, to be able to see our youth setup coming through the ranks. And then, of course, that's before you even get to, the first team players like Sandro Tonali, Harvey Barnes, Isak, Joe Linton, Bruno, Sven Botman, just absolutely fantastic. They're all gelling together well. So I think we will do absolutely amazing this season. And of course, the news as well today that came out that Tino Livramento had completed his medical as well. So I would assume that at some point, either today or tomorrow or in the coming days, we will see, Tino Livramento, of course, signing on that dotted line with Newcastle United. We will see images, of course, of him at St James's Park when it is officially announced. But we have done absolutely amazing in this window with the signings we've brought in, and I just can't wait for this season to begin. I will be over on a Villa fan channel called Villa Boys, of course, on Friday. So do go check out, of course, that channel. And I will, of course, be having the lad on my channel as well to do a preview for that opening game of the season against Aston Villa. Let's, of course, push this channel forward. Let's try and grow the subscriber base and the following behind this channel this season. We have got some fantastic stuff to look forward to, and I just can't wait for it all to begin. So till next time, remember to hit like, share, subscribe to the channel. If you want to join the membership, it's $1.99 a month. You do get perks of a shout out on the channel once a month and priority reply to your comments down in the comments below. And if you don't want to, of course, support the channel by that means, then you can support the channel by hitting the super thanks, of course, which is any donation is welcome and none of them are taken for granted. Or if you don't want to support the channel by either of their means, then just support the channel for free by hitting a thumbs up on the videos, sharing them with your friends, and hitting that subscribe button. And I'll see you all in the next one. However.